You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
Well, this is Saturday, April the 14th, and you have entered Overtime in Overdrive, baby. Yes, your 30-minute passport to all things Tri-State sports. And we've got a wide buffet of offerings for you tonight, including football fans, some gridiron fun, not only of the spring game action at Quincy University in Culver Stockton, but a visit tonight from a bona fide NFL Hall of Famer. But we start with a real rarity this evening on the diamond. Given the senior-dominated nature of high school baseball, it isn't often that we get to boast of having both the reigning KHQA Player of the Year and the runner-up from that same contest on the same field. But since both Routes' Nick Lonergan and QND's Dominic Miles were underclassmen last season, this would prove to be such a rare and fun day. We take you to 10th and Jackson. Nick Lonergan and company trying to get a win. Never easy in the battle of parochial schools. In fact, in the first inning, Dominic Miles is going to put in his statement right here, an RBI double to start the scoring, and that would put the Raiders up 1-0 at that point, but they're not done. Your very next batter is the freshman sensation Joey Pollock, batting in the 4-hole as a freshman. That doesn't happen much either. Nice single from him. Miles with a great slide to beat the tag by Ryan Lindsay. It's 2-0 QND, but Justin Ketchum calms down, settles in, and gets himself out of the frame with a beautiful bit of pitching right there and the strikeout against Justin Tallman. Tallman, though, going to pitch the other direction, and this phenomenal sophomore would have his revenge. Great strikeout there. It was going really nicely until this. Tallman gets hit on the foot by this Nick Lonergan bullet, and that's going to score a run and have the QND lead down to 2-1 at that point. Lonergan, though, going to press his luck, and Dominic Miles is having none of it. Perfectly called pitch out. You can't do that, Nick. It was a nice try, though, as he tries to avoid the tag, and that's why Dominic Miles throws out about 70% of the guys who try to go on him. Got a gun. Things got worse for Nick Lonergan right here. He would recover from this injury. It looked bad early on, but fortunately he was okay and healthy, and then it would be QND playing some small ball. Sam Douglas with a great bunt right there. He can dunk as well. He's a high flyer, if you will. And then Justin Tallman going to drive him home. That, my friends, extends the lead for QND down to 4-1, and then, well, this is Ryan Lindsay getting his team out of that frame with a great throw from behind the plate to end that inning. But QND just keeps playing the small ball in this one. Bunt City, and it worked out to perfection, especially right here. The throwing air is a devastating one as it touches off a 4-run frame against Route. QND, as I said, bunting and swinging bunts and whatever they needed to do to make it happen. Great base running, aggressive base running by the Raiders leads to an 8-1 lead. QND gets the job done today and wins by the final count in this one of 8-2. Elsewhere in the docket today, the big story baseball-wise, Lane Hansel, who throws a no-no in Griggsville. That takes some doing against that pretty potent Tornado lineup with very short fences. Great win today for Liberty as Hansel strikes out 14. Tyler Ormond also with a home run in that game to lead the Eagles to a nice win in conference play. Quincy High School, the pitching staff, showed up very well at East Moline, losing in game 1, 1-0. But look at what Andrew Eilers did in the second game, beating United Township 3-1. Eilers, really good. Name to remember. He's going to be dandy this season. Macomb with a split against Orion. We'll give you the good news today. They beat Orion in the first game 3-1. Brett Taylor with the win, lost 7-5 in the second. Rushville Industry taking its aggressions out today on BPC Avon. Big one today from Beck Harris in the first game, one hitter, 10 Ks, and then Rushville Industry erupts for 22 runs in the second game to win that one big time. Austin Jones, 3 for 3 at the plate as well. Beardstown with a sweep of Havana today, 10-1 in the first game. Bubba Patterson with a couple of stolen bases there, and then Beardstown wins 12-4 in the second. And Palmyra is still undefeated, knocking off Western in a makeup game today. Will Funkenbush right now has the best record in Tri-State pitching, 4-0 on the season, and he has been dynamite. We've got golf for you as well today. Hannibal Invitational, not great conditions. It was chilly this morning. Scott Cockrell, though, trying to lead the Hannibal Pirates to victory at number 1 today. Teeing off on number 1. Going to save par very nicely right here because that's what he does. Very consistent player. Was really even better coming up. But first, look at this shot by Mr. Cockrell on number 3. Beautiful approach, and that would set him up nicely for the birdie attempt. Wouldn't fall, but he'd tap in for a par right there. Cockrell finishes the day in 7th place with a 78. The story for Hannibal, though, the guys lower down, including some JV players. We'll get to them in a second. First, I got to talk some Louisiana, though, because Louisiana finished third team-wise, behind a very, very inspired effort today from Hannibal, which won the thing on his home course. But Brendan Ross leading the way for his team with a 5th place finish today, a 78. That's an eagle putt on number 1. He'd end up taking the tap in for Bird right there. Louisiana finishes 3rd. Hannibal, though, gets the job done today with the win. Tanner Cook, who was playing with the JV, was the medalist overall in this one, not pictured today. Fired a 76 for medalist honors. Charlie Bowman, who you see right there, fired an 80 today as Hannibal gets the win. Hannibal wins with a 313. Troy was second with a 328. Then comes Louisiana 330, and Hannibal's JV finished 4th on the day with a 338, led by that Tanner Cook 76. Phenomenal effort from a phenomenal golf team, and apparently Hannibal's going to be really good into the future, and they're really deep. Some soccer to talk about tonight. Quincy High School goes on the road, and Helias has pulled off the trifecta. Brad Dempsey's team has beaten QD, has beaten Quincy High, and has beaten Hannibal this season. That takes some serious doing, but Helias gets it done today at home. 2-0 your final there. Also at the Moberly tournament, after 3 straight losses, the Hannibal Pirates bounce back, get their first win in about a week. They knock off Fort Osage 1-0. It is the 9th shutout of the season for the Hannibal Pirates, and we'll assume Caitlin Edge was in the pipes because she's really good, and when shutouts happen, she tends to be there. Also today, softball, the Porta Slam getting made up today. Grigsville Perry was there, losing to Monticello early despite a phenomenal, fabulous pitching effort from Mackenzie Vos, a 2-hitter. The run not earned against her, but she was the hard luck loser there. But you know what? Grigsville Perry would bounce back. They would beat Auburn, and they would beat Southeast. Beat Southeast 11-4. Lexi Kessinger with 3 RBIs in that second game, and then would beat Auburn 8-2 as Hannah DeWitt had a big day hitting. In those last 2 games, I think she was a combined 5 for 9, if memory serves me right. So Hannah DeWitt, huge day at the plate for her team as well, as Grigsville Perry wins 2 of 3. Also, Beardstown today taking care of business against Bushnell, winning 13-0 was your final there. We've got college softball for you today. Quincy University at home for a pair, and Wendy Macias would pitch all of them, and she would be fantastic all day long, but better in the first game. In fact, she would take a no-no into the 4th inning. She gave up a hit, but she would just keep piling up and amassing the strikeouts today, including ones at big spots, as she was locked in a scoreless duel with Faye Song. By the way, Faye Song, what a great name from William Jewell, but it would be Wendy Macias giving no quarter, including the biggest strikeout of all. We're in the top of the 7th, runner at 3rd, and this is Wendy finding her groove and getting out of a big jam. And yes, we even got the tiger-like fist pump, which allows in the bottom of the frame Quincy University to have a chance to win it. And with a runner aboard, how about Jessica Grimes doing the walk-off thing? Beautiful piece of hitting, great piece of base running, and Quincy University wins in walk-off fashion in game number 1 in the most thrilling manner possible, 1-0. That was not a rare occasion today because Quincy University won in walk-off fashion in game number 2. Even more dramatically, perhaps, as William Jewell led in the 9th inning in this game, 3-2. Then Alana Viken hits a home run to tie it, and a pass ball scores the game winner as Quincy University wins and sweeps in walk-off fashion today. Again, that takes some doing. How about Hannibal LaGrange doing really good things today as well against Benedictine of Springfield at home. Game 2 of a doubleheader. Kachina Hudson was fantastic on the hill. She was hitting some as well today. The Mark Twain product with the double to deep center. That would set up Miss Erin Morrison, who's going to follow up and bring Kachina right here on the infield single over to 3rd base, putting her, well, no, she's going to stay at 2nd at that point, but putting her still in scoring position. Then it's going to be Kelly Black, who loads the bases with a bloop single here to left, which would set up Courtney Neff, who's finally going to drive home Kachina Hudson. That makes it 6-0 at that point. That would be the final score in this one, as Miss Hudson was just, as I mentioned, fabulous on the day on the hill. She pitched every inning. She got 2 wins today, and she ended up giving up a grand total, getting a grand total, or giving up, I should say, a grand total of 3 hits in 2 games. That's what I meant to say. I just meant to say she was good, and she was. Kachina Hudson winning 2 today. 6-0 in that game, and then in the earlier game today, 12-0 was the final. Complete game again for Kachina Hudson in that one, as HLG starting to catch some fire. Also today, Culver Stockton, a mixed day of results, losing in extra innings in the first game 4-3. In the second game, dramatic win as well, this time 10-9 in favor of the Wildcats as Rachel Dixon delivers 2 RBI. Quincy University in baseball today, a split in Rolla, losing the first one 6-1, generally under the power of their own mistakes. The second game much better. Mitch Broughton with his 3rd home run of the season as Quincy University wins that one 6-3. Also today, Illinois College softball, a winner over St. Norbert by the final count of 6-2. Elise Speckhart out of Payson with a couple of ribbies in that game. In the Summit League today, Omaha sweeps a pair from Western Illinois. Illinois College today with a split against Grinnell, winning the first one 5-0. David Pardo with a great pitching effort there. The second game in favor of Grinnell, 8-2. HLG today gets swept by a really good Missouri Baptist team, 14-3 and 7-3. Culver Stockton with a split today as well, as Culver Stockton loses the first game 6-5. That second game, I tell you what, this kid must be one heck of a pitcher, because every time we see Cyrus Wimberly's name pop up, huge strikeout totals, real small run differentials for opponents. So obviously Cyrus Wimberly getting it done today with a 1-0 strikeout. And we are just getting started right here. Coming up next, former NFL Hall of Famer, the big guy, Dave Casper. Outstanding tight end, is in America's hometown. You'll hear from him coming up next.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
And welcome back to Overtime. If you are a sports memorabilia enthusiast, America's hometown was the place to be tonight. We touched on it earlier this week, but the annual Hannibal Family Foundation Dinner and Auction has turned in very short order into a really amazing fundraiser and an event. Founded 5 years ago in the memory of former Pirate star athlete Colin Krigbaum, who died in an automobile accident, the foundation raises money for all manner of charitable causes about town. And this night is really the centerpiece of that campaign, with some unbelievable auction items, both from the sports world and beyond, and a big assist tonight from an NFL and college football Hall of Famer who lent his name and his ability to tirelessly sign autographs to a very worthy cause tonight.
Well, I think the Hannibal community should take the credit. Friend John Civitat asked me to come. All I did was get in the car and drive for 4 or 5 hours, and it's I guess a nice and a good thing that I can help, but the community itself is doing the work.
When you get a person like Mr. Casper, you saw him play when we were young, and we know that he was an All-American at the University of Notre Dame, and he was a Pro Football Hall of Famer for the Oakland Raiders, and it's a very fun event to meet him. It's a very fun event to hear his memories, hear his stories, so the people of Hannibal should feel blessed.
It's a great reminder that I was given some presents by God, in my younger days, and good things happened. I was around great people, and I think the message is I say you're part of who you are and where you've been, and so some of the who I am is my parents' fault because they made me. But where I've been at Notre Dame and some of the great teams I've been on and people, that makes, good things happen, and it is good that people can use that to get together and make good things happen again.
Biggest life lesson you took from football and from your experiences, and what you try to impart people who may not be athletes, but just the people out there who'll be listening tonight, that maybe resonates with them post your career on being successful in their lives?
Well, there's a lot of things that you've learned. From what I did. Biggest thing is get on a good team, and the other things is show up, suit up, and shut up. Just go to practice, get on time, and do your work, and good things happen. And don't make it more complicated than that. But you got to show up every day.
Meeting Dave Casper tonight made me feel really old, because I remember being a little kid and collecting his football cards. There you have it. Quincy University spring game. I have no idea how they scored this today, but I can tell you that Jeffrey DeVerne was awesome today with the interception right here. And the take back, apparently the QU defense would have garnered some big points, or the Brown squad, as I should call them in this event. Big first down here, though, from the white squad. It's Ladarian Shelby. And with an outstanding freshman running back coming in, Ladarian wanted to show out and prove that he's not ready to give up that job. He looked good. More to come here from the running game. This time Cameron Reeves with a nice pickup on the ground for the first down at that point. Special teams were big in this one as well. How about the blocked punt coming up? You got to know Tom Pagic loves this, because that, my friends, makes things a lawful lot of fun on football. Special teams matters, and that's going to go back for a touchdown for the defense as well. Our man Nick Lonergan, the pride of Jacksonville, looking for a pass completion right here. It's looked really good this spring, reportedly, and here he finds Barrington Williamson for the first down. Great pass, and that would set up Ladarian Shelby again for a touchdown run from 10 yards out. Going to dodge two guys on his way into the end zone again. I don't know how they scored this or who won. Never did see that today, but Quincy University had some fine moments, and that's all you can ask for out of spring. Speaking of that, let's go to Culver Stockton's spring game today. First half, the defense coming up big in this game. Kyron Kemp, one of his three interceptions on the day. He was certainly a difference maker in this game, and he's going to return that for good yardage. More defense coming up right here. Corey DeRigo, I hope we pronounced that right, going to come up with a big run stuff right here, and that's the kind of things you'd like to see from a much improved Culver Stockton defense. That was good. Then how about Andy Smith going to jump the passing route as well, playing some more defense in this one, picking up the pick six as well. We can tell you in this game that it would be the white team, the offense, which trailed early but came back and won 60-55 in the unique scoring system. So good stuff there. I should have said Andy Smith had 3 interceptions today, not Kyron Kemp. So congratulations to Andy on the big day as well there. Well, it is now time, as it often is here on Overtime, for the Con Communications Connection of the week and of the month. As you know, we offer you up one nominee every week till the end of the month. Then you get a chance to go on and vote for your favorite. That becomes the play of the month. It also becomes your chance to win big. Tell you what, we didn't have a whole lot of connections because of the weather, but the one we got out of Griggsville Perry's Caleb Bradshaw, pretty darn good this week. Home run in a game where he was simply dynamite on the hill, at the plate, doing all of it. Caleb Bradshaw wielding a very hot bat of late, and this was just an absolutely tagged home run. Good for Caleb Bradshaw, good for Griggsville Perry. Congratulations. Your second nominee of the month of April as you watch it in slow motion. Home runs, all the rage. Last week we had Austin Hardy and Paxton Harmon from West Hancock. If you like them, at the end of the month, go vote for them. If you're a Caleb Bradshaw fan, go vote for him at the end of the month as well.